Hi everybody, this is Justin Elliott with Elliott's Estate Sales, and this is going to be number 6 of the bizarre estate sale stories. Go ahead and get started. Okay, so this one takes place in Tulsa, okay? And the Tulsa sale was like really nice. It was an upscale Tulsa, old historical type estate sale. I want to say the house was maybe built, probably maybe in like the 60s, something like that. It could have been much later than that actually. Maybe like the 40s. I can't remember. Anyway, what I can remember is that there was a baby grand and a lot of hand tag rugs and a lot of really older money type stuff in this particular estate sale. Stuff that, most of us that live in a home that is modernized, we don't have a, 1,000 square foot dining area, and we don't have, dining chairs to seat 12 and crystal to seat 12, and a butler's, area. We don't have that. It was very, old school, very high-end money in the back in the old Tulsa, deep money, oil money days. Anyhow, so we go to meet with the family, and this is a sale where we actually met with somebody. We never met with anyone actually. Most of the estate sales, and I do like to work with people where I can go to your estate sale and actually talk to you and meet you, and but we progressively as a company are getting more and more to where we require you to take photos, or we request that you get photos or a video, and we will bid the job accordingly. Because as our service gets more and more successful, and as people do downsize and move and unfortunately pass away, and the family needs to sell the stuff so that they can sell the home, our phone calls are coming more and more frequently. If they're not wanting us to just sell the house, they're wanting us to sell the house and absolutely everything in it, and clean the house up afterwards of the estate sale, and then sell the house. And that includes the cars, the guns, the jewelry, everything. I mean, absolutely everything. And that really is what an estate sale is. And that's what this particular estate sale was. Except cars. We didn't sell the cars. Now, the particular house, I believe it already had a contract on it when we took it. When we took the estate sale. Would have loved to have sold the house for them. But we did the estate sale, set up the estate sale. Everything was fine. There was 3 sisters involved, and one sister was an out-of-state, and the out-of-state sister was, in my opinion, what I was later to find out, was the more sane sister, the sane sister that didn't have all the drama, because there's 3 sisters, right? 3 sisters fighting over one estate sale, and one estate and one house, and everything that it's, they're gonna inherit, right? And, I would assume that they were wealthy. I don't know. We work for folks that, are about to lose their house in foreclosure, all the way up to folks that, live on another side of the country and they're liquidating their houses. So you really never can tell whether or not, they're liquidating because they're in distress and they need money. But we did the estate sale. Everything went wonderful. Great attendance, great feedback on the sale. It showed well, the videoed well. I worked my behind off, taking really great photos and making sure that it presented, just to my style, and featured the stuff in its best way so that we could fetch the most money and bring the most crowd. The sale went wonderful. The actual person that was going to buy the house attended the sale, and this is something that happens often, especially if we're going to sell the house. If we're going to sell the house, then it's easier for us to sell the house and then also negotiate furniture and other personal property with the house when they buy the house, because it's just one contract, one offer. And so that being said, this particular house had already been sold. The buyer of the house came and shopped my estate sale. It was perfect. They came in, said, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this. And they bought the baby grand, they bought all this furniture, and basically we could have closed if we wanted to, because they bought majority of the house. It was majority 75%, most of it was gone. All the value of the sale was gone. And so, we kept it open though, because, I wanted to fulfill the contract for one, and back then we weren't closing early. Sometimes we do close early, and it will upset people because they'll try to wait last minute to come to the estate sale. And sometimes we will sell out in the first hour or so. And so if we do sell out in the first hour or so, we will close. I can't help it. There's no point in staying, for a bunch of, dollar items, an entire estate sale. It's very costly to throw an estate sale. Anyhow, so we do this estate sale, and all of my contracts, it says specifically that the person that is selling the stuff is not to come back to the estate sale once I take possession. It's in black and white ink. It's been there forever. I've never allowed that. Now, there have been specific situations that I have agreed to because they were in a spot and they could not simply leave. But this particular one, no one lived there. Well, the out-of-state sister was normal, completely in communication with me the entire time via text message. I sent her photos of what we did. She obviously saw all of our advertisement that we did for her sale. I didn't hear from any of the other two sisters. The day of the sale, all shit hell break loose, okay? And in my contract, in the particular time, I had a clause in there that if you were to come to my estate sale and act like a dramatic mess and cause any kind of scene, or harass a customer, or come in and harass me during the estate sale, or cause any kind of conflict of interference between me and my customers, my buyers, that there would be a penalty for that. And sometimes the penalty is written into the contract on you removing stuff from the sale, because maybe I'm fearful that you're going to do that, or maybe you've said you're going to do that. And so I wrote it in the particular contract that you'll have to pay for that, because I want to be paid for my work. Well, this sister, two sisters, all three sisters basically came in, I think. I think either three or just two. It might have been the two that just lived here, because I think the one that lived in Texas, she still lived in Texas. But it was two lawyers and one teacher. And so I don't really remember what kind of law they were in, but the teacher, I believe, came in, walked 10 steps into the door, and started cussing and screaming and acting a complete fool, okay? And it said in the clause, every demeaning thing you say to me in a statement would cost you $500. And then it was also an extra fee if someone in the estate that was running or involved in the estate shopped the sale. Because these particular estate sales, all three girls were in charge of this trust, and that was who I was doing contract with. So all three of them paid, for this one sister's very large mistake. And I recorded it. It was all recorded. And I sent it to all three sisters, and I billed them accordingly. They didn't make much after that estate sale. It was about a $7,000 or $8,000 estate sale. I want to say it was somewhere around in there. And they didn't make much from it. And so it's just, you never could predict that something was going to happen like this. She literally erupted into this beautiful house, and I have all these people, happily shopping, and I've got my cashier over here, I've got estate sales managers, and it was 2 stories, and there was somebody upstairs, and I was downstairs, and literally I was like between the cashier and the door, and burst into the door, these 2 older ladies, and they are literally, it's their mother's house. I want that, and that's being sold too cheap, and how much did you pay for that, and Elliot's this, and Elliot's that, and I won't go into it specifically, but it was a mess. But that's just one story. So, on to the next.